How to avoid undermining. Now, this is quite similar to a previous video I did about, how to determine who is in charge. But it's such a big topic, undermining. I thought it really deserved a video and a lesson on its own. So the number one thing about how to minimize undermining is, of course, going back to the clear handover. Okay, so you really need to encourage the parent and to stress that point that once a handover has been completed from parent to nanny, the nanny now needs to be that authority figure that they've hired you to be, and the parents need to try and resist the urge to step in. The next thing I'd love you to do is to discuss with the parents the effects of undermining and the consequences that has for their children. The child learns that a no can become a yes if they persist enough or if they whinge enough to their parents that, it can be swayed. Having a conversation like this, although it can seem quite a challenge, it really just proves to the parents how professional and competent you are as a nanny and how you have their children's best interest at heart. That's really what a conversation like this tells the parents. It really does. And constantly, time and time again, showing the parent how competent and how professional you are will also help to minimize micromanaging parents as well, which we're going to discuss a little bit later on, because they build that confidence they have in you up more and more and more. One strategy that can be quite useful when it comes to undermining is really encourage the parents to use this one sentence. I'm going to use my name again as the example as the nanny. The sentence is, have you asked Nikki? Okay, so encourage the parents that once a clear handover is performed at 8 o'clock when you start, for example, from then on, if their child comes to them and asks them a question, their response will be, have you asked Nikki? Okay, so if the child comes up to them and says, Dad, can I have a snack? His response will be, have you asked Nikki? I'm not sure what she has planned for you today. That sends the message to the child that, oh, I'm at work now and I'm not the one that's in charge. The authority figure actually is Nikki, which you need to go and confirm with her that question. Another example of this is the child comes up and says, Mum, can we go to the park today? And the mum says, you'll have to ask Nikki, I'm at work and I don't know what Nikki has planned for you today. Okay, how simple is that? It's clearly stating to the child, no, actually the mum or the dad, the parent is at work now, but have you asked Nikki because she happens to be the authority figure at this moment. So simple and so clear for the kid. Now, there is a dark side to undermining as well. An example of this is, let's say the nanny has said to the child, no, you can't play on your iPad now because I know that you had it an hour before I arrived this morning. Then the child goes up to the parent and says, Dad, can I play on my iPad? Nikki said I'm not allowed to, and starts crying. Then the dad says, all right, fine, you can have it for 15 minutes only, okay? But after 15 minutes, you need to put it away. You're sitting there nodding along, then I know that this has happened to you, right? My guess is it's also happened more than once. Am I right? Okay, this sends the message to the child that the nanny should not be respected. In that instance, the parents probably genuinely think they're being really helpful. Maybe in their minds, they're thinking, hey, I've just helped you avoid a meltdown. So, pat on the back to me. But what they really can't see, if that's the case, is that how much that's made it harder for you because things have not been consistent. And consistency is key when it comes to children, pretty much in any area, okay? When it comes to behavior guidance, consistency really is key, and you'll hear me say that word a million times over all of these videos, okay? So by the parent going against, knowingly or unknowingly against what you have said, there is no consistency. So use that example as well to the parents when you're talking about it. Just say, for instance, if this was to happen, the iPad, and then I've said no, and then you go ahead and say yes, the child gets that message of whatever Nikki says, Nikki, my nanny, whatever she says is not the final say. I can go to mum and dad and they will have the final say. So I can kick and scream loud enough and I'll get my way. So next time I'm going to straight away have that meltdown and know that I'm going to get my way. So use that example if you need to and explain that to the parents as well. And again, I'm going to say it again, be consistent. Okay, this video has been how to avoid undermining.